I heard it said closed mouths don't get fed, so we partnering with Harvey, help to build the city bread. And to those that call Jedediah to the town, hold it, wait a minute. Paul, stand down. Why you mad? Cause we double checking all your allegations. You say you telling truths, we just following the traces. Y'all people mad, Jed ain't seen in clock corruption. Jed ain't moving like a pawn, he's a king, he fights injustice. A lie can't stand when the truth comes to faces. That's why them liars keep on losing court cases. Let's just agree to disagree and work to bring Harvey back. Dealing with businesses and wars, they not paying they tax. And all the woman Kobe Jed wants you to know the fake is showing. Thought you'd have him on your finger, he researched, he wasn't going. Want you calling all the strays, who's the leader of your pack? Work on getting business in your ward to pay they fair tax. They making money up in Harvey, but short Harvey on them racks. It's not racks, they owe Harvey some millions. The very money that could help demolish unsafe buildings. This verse was long, run the chorus, we'll be back and we ain't about to leave. Harvey, you can run and tell that we here till whole bills up on every block. Activating people rising and don't stop. Restoration for the hearts that never quit. Vision ain't luck, it's a plan with a crew that's built for this. Empowerment's what we want for the people. You see we care, we ain't backing down from evil. And Harvey, we won't quit. Jed and INA for the coaches here and we commit to this. Not quoting fiction, what we saying is fact. Found stolen land up in Harvey, Jed helped take that land back. Put back on Harvey's tax roll, bringing investors to meetings. We trying to help Harvey out, so V-Not's why you see them. We out here making moves, we out here doing something. Cooking with Frank, sir, you coined that term, you wanted something. Victims Network of Thornton Township, V-Nots, that's right. I'm trying to see how they help Harvey, can y'all bring that to life? Cause what I'm seeing ain't right, steady line, going to court. What's the score? I lost count, watching lights fall to the floor. Some people like confusion, we trying to bring improvement. So run that chorus back, remind the people what we do here. On every block, activating people rising and don't stop. Restoration for the hearts that never quit. Vision ain't luck, it's a plan with a crew that's built for this. Empowerment's what we want for the people. You said we care and we ain't backing down from evil. And Harvey, we won't quit. Jed and INA for the coaches here and we commit to this. I'm almost finished, couple things and I'm through. Library board, no more illegal moves. Can't stand injustice. So for the culture came through saying, hey, Mrs. Price, here's the money, file your lawsuit. When we believe, we don't just talk, we stay making moves. Jed INA and for the culture, that's just what we do. This last part goes out to Officer McKenna. Jed came to help Harvey fight, help him be a winner. 911 was called and they sent you. He thought he seen the one and we don't know if that's true. But now y'all, what is Jed gon' do? He gon' fight even harder to help Harvey push through. Y'all got ideas to help Harvey. Won't y'all focus on that? We got ideas and making moves. Whole bills up on every block. Activating people rising and don't stop. Restoration, conscious, never quit. Vision ain't luck, it's a plan with a crew that's built for this. Empowerment's what we want for the people. See we care, backing down from evil. And Harvey, we won't quit it. Jed and INA for the coaches here and we commit to this. We commit to this. We commit to this.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing this week? Investigate and advocate when justice finds no rest. I'm your host, Amanda, for the culture, INA. Thank you for being here with me in this moment that you are on Facebook or YouTube. Thank you for being here. And those of you who are resources, obviously, because of you, we're able to do what we do. And I'm so grateful for y'all. We are coming up at the last weeks of the year 2025. And I don't know about y'all, but this is literally the best time to start doing some reflection, because the things that we did this year, we either got to stop doing or do greater, in my opinion, next year. Tonight, I want to come on here and I just want to talk, if that's okay with you all, as I do some of those reflections and I process some of the many things that I am processing in my life. Whew. I'm in a happy space. I'm in a grateful space. I'm not expecting many gifts on Christmas, and that's okay because I've been living literally 364 of my days out of a year is a gift that nothing physical will compare to what I have based on what I could or could not have had. So I'm not looking for any physical gifts. They may or they may not come. But at the end of the day, one thing that I'm happy about this year is I lived another year, what I believe to be liberated and free. I want so many people to experience what I feel I experience on a daily basis. My day is dictated by my deciding, and that is experience that I cannot explain or articulate, but it is something that I want so many other people to experience, and I know that we can. But you add on to that for me this year, and then in the final quarter of this year, I think that it's become really solidified that I'm going into 2026 with a family that is extended, the For the Culture family, getting, giving, loving, living, reclaiming our crown. I had to literally stop the intake for a second, but I set out to have a goal of 100 people before we launched. And even as we begin to progress and move things, y'all, I am so honored because I'm going into 2026 beyond our goal. We're just still processing them. But I wanted 100. That's what I asked the Lord for. And we have them. And then some. And so my dedicated focus for 2026 is that I'm looking for God to cause us to have no less than 500 to 1,000 people who are part of our network by the end of 2026. And if I am going to follow the trend, that is my ask, because you got to have an ask. But God said he'll do exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ever ask or think. I'm not shocked by moments or settings because I know the system. So much stuff happened for me this year, setting the stage for next year. I hope that you are doing the same thing, paying attention, making your requests, and counting up the cost. If I'm not mistaken, even right now while I'm talking to you, there's the group of individuals who are speaking about me. We have adopted the term. We didn't create the term, but we adopted the term, the V nots. Hold on one second. We adopted the term the V nots. They're talking about me, but what's really particularly interesting is how my day started and how it has progressed and where it is now. And then I take a seat as I kind of sort of make sure that all T's are crossed and I's are dotted to get sent a message about a live stream that's talking about me. This is not an easy seat to sit in, but I'm so honored to have it. One of those people is this Greg guy. I'm not going to say his last name because if you don't know him, I don't you don't need to discover him, and you don't need to know of his other name because again, he's a nobody. He's irrelevant. This particular live stream did not and does not really affect me in any shape, form, or fashion because um, that's the this is the number of people who was watching it. 31 people. 31 people was watching, almost six grown folks, talk about the city as well as about me. And the reason why I wanted to mention that on here is because one of the things that has increasingly become clear, not difficult. Sometimes, y'all, and this is what I want to give to y'all, and I hope that I translated well, but sometimes you need to be grateful for your haters and your attackers. Sometimes you need to celebrate the fact that you're living rent free in somebody's mind. You ain't thought about them, ain't checking for them, not considering them, not planning against them, not even trying to come their way. And then it's so amazing for me with this particular group because they're the ones asking for restraint orders. They want me to stay away because they fear for their life. But we know that that's not the truth. They don't fear for their life. They want an advantage because they want a purpose. But the crazy thing about that is that I realized today that this ain't nothing to ever be frustrated about. This is a flex. This a flex. Because for a year, I think that's about as long as I've been dealing with stuff in Harvey. Has it been a year? Is it over a year? In order for them to project purpose, they got to lie, manipulate, and deceive. They got to pretend that there's traction. But when you look at it and peel back the onions and the layers, it's very clear to see that they're failures in every turn. But I was shocked. I was really shocked because I hadn't done any deep dive because again, it's not a relevant party to me. But their leader, Mr. Greg, in court testified he does not have no job. And they all testify they not working on nothing. Sometimes you got opposition because you are moving and people want what they perceive to be the glory, but they don't want to do the work. So they try to make you the focal point to make you the problem because their hope is that you fail so that they'll be able to say, I was the reason why. Jealousy is not rational. So many of you all got people that's jealous of you, and it's crazy because if you all talking about me in this regard, where I'm at now, you finna really be mad. One of the things that I'm so happy about today is because they keep on trying to put out this message that there was this mob action on July 14th. It was literally the focal point of my last court date. This guy tries to present himself as some criminal justice expert and some 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 educated moral compass. And you listen to him talk and he tries to sound like he's got some kind of a high ground. But I'm knowing looking at him, he know he lying. But he don't even have a conscience. You said, "What, mama? I'm okay. I got it. Good. I know. I know. I got it. I got it. I'm okay. Love you." I said, "I got it. I got it. I got it. Mama, I'm talking. I got it." So so that is it's phenomenal because the reason why I want to come on here is I saw a lady, and I can't remember her name on this particular live stream, and this is a part of the basis of why I spoke. And I don't know her name, but she has a YouTube channel and she went with us to Flint twice. And on there, I was watching her talk about how this incident was, how it made her feel and what she saw. And as a matter of fact, let me not say that, but they were the ones saying about what was being done and what they saw. And I just saw her shaking her head yes for the amount of time that I was watching. And I couldn't believe that she was shaking her head agreeing with it, because there is no way in the world a person with any level of intelligence and anyone that has been paying attention would really think that I was in pursuit of these people at all. Y'all, we all know that that's just simply not true. I ain't done nothing about them or going after them in any shape, form, or fashion. And I'm watching this woman who I appreciated because of some things that she did that was quite sacrificial. Shake her head, yes. And I said to myself, this is the reason why we can't get the progress we need in our community. Because people they love to act like they are seeing something other than what they're clearly seeing. And that's why you're in the situation you're in. And that's why it takes somebody from the outside to come in, because you don't even have the character or the wisdom or the perception, the discernment, or even the observation skills. I get it. Seeing a fight could be traumatic if you don't live a fighting life. But you know what? One of the biggest problems that I have with Illinois is that y'all weaponize, or no, that you demonize people for defending themselves. You mentally disarm yourselves from being able to defend yourselves. And that is a problem. And you criminalize the perception of people, and you mischaracterize presentations that are somewhere that you ultimately, really, if you actually be honest, should want to be. Context also matters, but I also understand that perception is reality. So I was disappointed in her looking at raise her head up and down, but I'm also said, God, but I'm okay. Because I now that I see where she's at, I don't have to waste any time with her. You sitting up there talking about you won't change in your city where you told me you live in Harvey, and you spending your time on a panel talking about something that happened in July 14th that had been adjudicated in one court setting and it has another court date. And now you sitting on a live stream talking about this, and here we are in December. And you sit up here with a group of people who literally just testified in court that they ain't done no work to get your city nowhere out of what it's in since July. And I don't take it personal, because I just say, okay, this ain't the kind of fool that I need to be connected to. That's but it's so easy to point the finger. But let me tell you what I did today on the tail end of 3 transitions. And I don't say death because I don't know what God determined with either one of them. They transition from earth to eternity, and I don't know where they are. I don't know what condition they're in. I don't know what the end goal or the end result of it is. I just know that they're not here no more. But it's crazy because you sit up there and you act like the first hit was thrown by me, when literally we were there before any of them arrived. And not only was we there before any of them arrived, this is what part of the testimony are you not hearing? While I was walking down the street, counting the houses, because we were going to board them up so that the squatters would not return. I had Greg's daughter in the middle of the street walking towards us saying, "You not gonna do this." And I'm saying, "What the hell are you talking about? You not gonna do this. Y'all not about to jump my daddy." And I said, "What? We are literally counting houses. What are you talking about?" And I'm gonna call somebody. See, that part ain't nobody talking about. But you was there. She on the phone. I'm finna call somebody to come up here because y'all not about to touch my daddy. Number one, it's at nighttime in Harvey, Illinois. There's no police presence out here, and whatever was going on is not going on any further. So why are y'all still on this block? But to agitate me. And why are you talking about fighting your dad when I'm just walking down the street? And if y'all thought that there was something being orchestrated to hurt him, why aren't y'all, with all y'all good intentions, moving him off the block? And I'm not going to go too much further into that because, again, this will be adjudicated in a court of law as it has been. What they thrive on is the fact that y'all not paying attention. But if you sat in that court case, then you saw all of the blatant lies that this man was telling, and the judge, with her educated, ethical self, was not doing anything in collusion or compromise because she held both of us to the same expectation of doing things with integrity, and she ruled based on the law. So what's crazy is that you on there talking about how politically connected someone is and how they compromise in this. No, that was a real trial. And you fell flat like you will continue to do. Now let's go to the second component of this. So then I get to the group and I said, what are y'all doing? I'm working. Why are you all here making sly comments? And then you look at the video, this fool talking about some, keep on recording, keep on recording. So clearly y'all not doing nothing. You're literally just watching me. You're following what I'm doing. You're so concerned about what I'm doing and where I'm going and who I'm talking to and what I'm on. And I ain't thinking about you. And it's so interesting to me because as I'm literally saying, what are y'all doing? I'm working on the block. You clearly see me get struck. We are now officially in a brawl, initiated by y'all. That's how that works. Now they want to be all on these screens. And then they would, and y'all was outnumbered. Okay, there go another reason why y'all shouldn't have been there. But no, you wasn't. Number two, we don't never know what he capable of. That's another reason why you shouldn't have been there. Number two, what kind of man gonna leave some elderly women on a block in danger? Okay, never mind. You know what? Let's go there for a moment. While they sitting up there calling for the men of the community to stand up, let me tell you about how I handled Beth when she was in my care. Go look at the video. When we were marching from Dalton all the way to downtown, which the judge kind of took a pause at. If you go look at the video, you will see me multiple times telling Beth and Babe Solo, I need y'all to go on and get in the car. I need y'all to ride in the car. I need y'all to go in the store and get you something to drink. I need to know what y'all want to eat because ain't no man that call themselves a man not going to be concerned about, number one, they warriors, that's with them, but number two, elderly women, since you care so damn much. Where was your concern for these elderly women if you had all this knowledge about how monstrous of a person I was all these years? Why would you have them out there like that? And then this man with an introverted hand and a short hand, and you fear that I'm a mob thug, gang affiliated, no good, blah this and blah that. And these fools still on there following somebody that don't even have the mental capacity to cover them. I get to court, they sitting up there laughing and looking down. They in there warm. I get to court, see a line that's extended almost back to the parking lot. I go into the courtroom and I say, now I know that you guys can let these people inside of this vestibule, this lobby area to warm up while they're waiting to get checked. And before I get in there and get comfortable in the warm line, I made sure all the residents that was there was able to do so too. And all I heard was, thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. Man, we appreciate that. That was awesome. We love you for that. We see you. And now I'm finding out most of the people in the line know exactly who I am. So to the woman, I think her name is D. Now that I'm thinking about it, you ain't do nothing but demonstrate your ignorance and your perception and your lack of discernment. Because I want you to tell me in any shape, form, or fashion that you can that right now I'm lying. When Beth on the video called out, I think that they're trying to do something to you. Oh no, they can't do nothing. Just stay right there, keep the camera on. He was looking for that. So this man that programmed in y'all mind that something finna happen, but he didn't think to say, oh, wait a minute. It's nighttime, it's Harvey. Let me get y'all up out of here. It ain't worth it. Nothing's going on. It would have made the narrative make a little bit more sense if you tried to retreat. from that space. So I'm trying to figure out what about this is not making sense. But now let's get to the nitty gritty of it. So now you finally get a confrontation, which guess what? Freedom of speech there is, and ability to move around. I had no mobility issues. I'm coming and say, what is the point? What do y'all want? What are you doing? I'm working. This woman talking about an attack and calling people up here. I'm trying to need to do to finish up what's happening on this block by people that literally rocking with y'all. Now, why am I talking about this in December? It's you, D. It's you. It ain't Ramona with her silly self. It ain't Beth with her mental self. And it sure as hell ain't Greg with his irrelevant self. It's you. Because how could you allow yourself to be this blind with a whole YouTube channel? And I thought you had good sense. You can be friends with whoever you want to be friends with. But one thing that I love about my friends is we each other ass and we don't sugarcoat truth. That's a real friend. Well, if you look at the makeup of my leadership team in my organization, we may not agree. We keep our decorum, we follow the structure, but we voice our concerns, our disagreements, and our opinions. Y'all ain't doing nothing or building nothing. Beth, you ought to feel the brunt of these words right here. When you sit in that courtroom and I asked you what we did, you could recollect more than two. But now what are you doing? Nothing. And then you're going to make an excuse. Well, he can't go in the neighborhood because of what you did. Why? Because he had petitions. He filed them, not me. He had the protection of paperwork. Why couldn't he go there? You letting that man deceive you. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm paying attention. And there's something going on right here. And I don't know what yet. And I ain't put my finger on it. I don't know if you giving him money. I don't know if you giving whatever you doing. But I'm telling you something. And I want you to hear these words because they will age the way that they're supposed to. But he doing something mentally. And I don't just say that by I don't know if I'm not just saying that by my observation. I'm saying that by the Spirit of the Lord. There's something perverted that's going on. This man is taking advantage of you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And I want that to be heard and known and said that I said it. And he's leading you into a path that is not good. And the only reason, and you know this, the only reason why you're entertaining it is because you were asked to stop putting propaganda in my chat. That's it. People saw it, Beth. I ain't never done nothing to you, never done nothing against you, ain't never hurt you. And don't talk about nobody was getting ready to attack you. But I know that my words are powerful and I walk in the authority of being a prophetic being that was born and designed this way. And as a black man with a voice that carries, which is why I'm great in my advocacy. My passion is not aggression, is not a threat, and it is not bad. And I will not dilute my ability to orate, articulate, or to project for your comfort. It won't happen. Because that's what makes me who I am. And I put that on my Facebook page today. As a matter of fact, let me show y'all exactly what I'm talking about and what I mean. Because I think that the world is funny. We swear to God that white people can't shout. So I've seen so many white people in my life look at us when we in church. I'm talking about black folks. When they look at black folks in church and they be shouting. And I've seen so many white people and be like, what is going on? And what's that? And that looks strange. And does it take all that? And I'm just, and I've always looked at it and I'm like, well, that's just how we express ourselves. And then I'm sitting up here last night, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, I know you lying. Because if you look at this must be, I don't know what the hell all this, but here goes. This must be, but we shout in church. So y'all want to judge the shouting in church because in Catholic church, y'all sitting there humming and eating crackers and wine and juice and walking down with all kind of robes and crosses and stuff. So y'all in church making all that noise and shouting. But here it goes. I come now and found on the other side of y'all Caucasian culture. Y'all ain't shouting in church, but y'all over here dancing. I guess this is folk or something. I don't know what the hell going on. I'm still trying to figure it out. But if you look at this look a hell of a lot like shouting, number one. And number two, apply our music from church and look at what you get. Now, if that don't do nothing for you, then when you think about, especially in Chicago, now I'm gonna have to come off of here. Let me come off the screen for a second because I want y'all to look at the feet of the white woman in the white and gray slacks and dress shirt. Watch the white woman in this video and tell me that this woman ain't footwork. And then here come Uncle Dan. He might not be doing. Oh, said now you saying yeah. Uncle Dan over here, and here he come. He dancing, and Uncle Dan, he ain't kicking his feet up and doing nothing crazy. But Dan obviously got the folk ghost too. So get off me. Get off me. Get off me. Get off me. And then that's the other thing. When you created or when she created an issue for Flint, we didn't even kick her out. We basically tried to get people to understand that her difference and her understanding was not already there. Again, y'all saying, why are you talking about it? They had 23 or 31 and you got 175 because this ain't about views and clicks. This is about foolishness. And I want to give this to the people in Harvey that will see this to understand the scope of what's going on. You got a fool trying to tell you guys not to pay attention to a king with a proven track record. For every one dumb move they make, I can show you three great moves that we're making. And today, I'm so happy because, see, I didn't say it when they were talking about I wasn't doing nothing before because I wanted to wait for the appropriate time. But now I made a formal announcement that my friends are getting ready to build homes in the city. And they're doing it as an investment into your city so that not only it recover, but it literally goes above what anybody has ever imagined would come there because so many other people trying to write the city off. Y'all literally don't understand that there is a senator who was trying to position his cronies to take the city because they want to get back the favors that Harvey gives to those who don't want to live ethical and legal lives in government, but they want to quickly enrich themselves because you can literally embezzle hundreds of thousands of dollars from Harvey and only go to jail for one day. Ask Kellogg's brother. So what I'm trying to get y'all to understand is that what I'm fighting is systematic, it's political, it's structural, it's it's mental, financial, it's all kinds of levels. But see, when we got the houses, I can talk about that, right? Because y'all see the 10 houses, Turlington Homes, my friends are getting ready to build, and the type of homes they're building, absolutely amazing. I already got people reaching out to me saying, how can I get one of them homes? I'm saying, let me know, because once the list opens up, I'm gonna make sure you at the top. Get the loan. So when they put up the sign that the house is gonna be built, you can also put behind it sold. And so I'm happy about that. But now I can say after today, I got something else coming for Harvey, and it's quite amazing. That's going to help rebuild the city. But when I think about this D lady, I'm thinking about the fact that you sitting up to talk about what you want in Harvey, so you didn't pay attention to the fact that they just renovated the they're renovating the train lines. You're not paying attention to the fact that y'all just got a dispensary. That's a new business. You're not paying attention to the fact that y'all literally on Broadway got a street that is completely renovated and looks damn good. Is about to be one of the street. And I can say this for the record through research, not rumor, that y'all city went from being 30% lit to now somewhere around 70, 80, if not more percent lit. And they're still progressively getting Harvey relit back up while they're trying to come out of a distressed state. I was actually in Harvey today, and while people have been laid off and your city is in distress, I found it quite phenomenal because I saw somebody get pulled over by a Harvey police officer and they had backup that was also a Harvey police officer. So that tells me that some way, somehow, the city is still managing to provide city services while they are in distress. But let me go a little bit further than that because city council meetings have been changed and there is a growing number of people that are attending meet the mayor, and there is, and this is all stuff that you find out in research, and then there was not one beat missed. Y'all had a fireworks show on the 4th of July, a turkey giveaway in Thanksgiving. Christmas is about to be a Christmas party tomorrow, and they gave away gifts a few days ago. These are all great things. Land that was stolen, recovered, people have been fed, places have been cleaned up. And I might not be the responsible party for all this, but dang, we have done quite a bit. And tomorrow, my organization is spending 6 to 7,000 of our own dollars to give a Christmas party for seniors. Which, if you have not RSVP'd, you want to do so. But if you don't, we made it now that you can RSVP at the door, as well as long as you are there. So because I've had a few people call, if you are a Harvey resident or somebody that I personally invited, you can come, but it's going to be subject to space. It's going to be subject to space. But ain't none of this shit being handed. This is all of us getting out of the mud, collaborating and organizing, researching, paying attention. And you over there talking about what you want for your city with a bunch of people who didn't testify in court. They ain't doing nothing for your city. And you sitting over there shaking your head, agreeing with them, looking like a fool. And it's the biggest disappointment. Because y'all rather be lied to with a smile than being held accountable to getting your city where you wanted to go. That's the problem with so many people. And that's definitely the problem with Illinois. And now that I done got a hold of this Chicago thing, I mean, this Harvey thing, I realized something. The Democrats of Illinois ain't just ignore our community. They fucked up our minds because y'all don't even know what you're looking at. Let me tell you another reason why the property taxes in Cook County is going the way that it's going. Because they know that people are not paying taxes, and Cook County does not have adequate enforcement of people not paying their taxes. So, number one, all y'all talking about you're worried about displacement, you're being set up for the fall. Because the moment that they're ready, they're going to basically take your stuff or get your stuff for taxes, even though there's a ruling by the Supreme Court that says that the tax sale is not constitutional. They're trying to find another route. That's number one. Number two, everybody else's taxes is going up because corruption goes unchecked in Illinois. And the people who are paying extra for the people who not paying. See, the thing that I love that I gleaned from my newfound focus is because y'all thought this ain't a conversation about just no damn idiots. This is about the fight and the war and how heavy this lift is. Get this, because this is what they don't want you to understand. And injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So while you sitting up there saying, oh, that's Harvey problem, you don't even understand that Harvey problem is revealing a larger problem that's affecting the county. The county is revealing what's affecting the state is revealing what's affecting the country. So when you don't care about something because it ain't immediately impacting you, then you're creating a precedence for it. And believe me or not, it will trickle down. Now go do your research. I wouldn't buy. Let me be careful here with how I talk. They damaged your mind with and disinformation and miseducation and and misinformation. And there you go. While I've been fighting this stuff in Harvey, I've been trying to figure out why the people who are around me are almost getting priced out of their home through taxes. I literally sat there and watched a woman bury her hand in her head in her lap because her taxes are becoming too high. I have a friend of mine who I remember how long it took her to find a house, and then how long it took her to get the requirements, and then how meticulous it was. That even if she spent $1, she would have messed up the deal to get the house. And I remember how excited she was when she got the house. And I remember how she went and got all of the furniture and then paid for all of the construction. And I watched how excited she was at the housewarming and she loved it and went all to the house. I'm finally a homeowner in Cook County, only for a year later, her saying, I got to sell this house. Taxes is too high. And because the taxes is going up, my mortgage is going up to this. And I can't afford this because I got a kid now and I got this now. She didn't even get to enjoy her dream house for more than a year. So I'm not just looking at Harvey, I'm looking at the larger picture here. There's enough to go on or to address that these fools trying to pursue, it's so crazy to me. But it's not no more. They're too dumb, and their hearts are too wicked to even know what the hell they're doing. And that's what they mean when they say, forgive them for they know not what they do. But unfortunately, my response is I can't do that right now. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Any more provocation against me is gonna be met with equal or more force. And you can keep on making excuses for why you got your ass whooped. But I want you to hear me. Your daughter spit on me, struck me in my throat. And I don't give a damn if I had one security or 70. Let's be clear here. The majority of that ass whooping, since we got to go to court in January, was me in defense of myself. And every time I let your fat, weird built body ass up off the ground, you attacked me again. Remember jumping on my back? Do you remember when I was walking away? Y'all was walking behind me. So stop acting like somebody was doing some mob action and coming after you. I whooped that ass, tried to leave. You whooped that ass again, tried to leave, whooped that ass again, tried to leave, and whooped that ass again. And no, Harvey police didn't. Y'all sound dumb. But Harvey police let you get away. Well, when they got there, if you look at the video, they were literally being told, the people in the car who you're looking for, they don't know what's going on. They trying to figure it out, fool. And when I came back, went to jail. So there go your colluding storyline. And then you sit up there and lie in the court. But you're supposed to be some man of high honor and integrity. D, you are the biggest disappointment of that video for the time that I watched it. That man stood in front of a judge and said that he was standing in front of the arbitrator in Harvey, and he heard me plead guilty and get a fine. When he was up there screaming, that'll be double jeopardy. That'll be double jeopardy. That'll be double jeopardy. Like this was a damn murder trial, fool. But he want to convince you that he got a damn degree in criminal justice. Sitting online, just trying to rehearsing the same old sad damn story. So if I was literally on them and trying to do this, ask this question: why haven't I beat his ass again since July? Because I've been too busy. And then on top of that, If they was literally doing something, why are if all of these things that are going on that I'm doing supposedly, I do not have any regret in my mind or in my heart for going in WW Whole Funeral Home and asking her about her taxes. And if she was a noteworthy business woman, she would have been able to explain it and we could have possibly helped her out. But then when she revealed her hand, I don't give a damn if her business succeed or fail because I don't consider her to be a viable business. You know why? Because Leak and Sons, who get all of my business, they're people who give back to the community beyond a free service. Just because you black don't mean that your character is intact. And if you sitting up there robbing the community in the back end, you still robbing it. Because business owners get the respect that they get because you contribute to the community. That's why people supposedly are so mad at churches because people who don't live in the local community come in the building that's tax free, that don't pay into the tax base, and if they don't do no community service projects or offer any of their resources to the community, then people look at that as predatory. But if a business is doing it and it's illegal, now you want to give it cover. I know what I'm talking about. I hold no regret. I'm glad that I figured it out. I'd never use them. I'll never recommend them until they get it right. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to keep on monitoring it and I'm going to let you know about the next tax payment that they don't pay. And when I get done with what I'm doing, if they don't pay, they need to go. Because I'm sure with all the people coming out of mortuary science school, they would love to have a funeral home in Harvey because in that area, I hear it's a lot of business. Y'all don't want the truth. You want excuses. I ain't worried about no damn white people's systematic oppression and intended racism against me. It has not been the narrative of my life. You know why? Because I have gone against the odds and I'm winning. Literally love how people, I saw a judge in the case 2 days before, the one before, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you how I knew it was premeditated, what he was going to do, not just a hot mic. Because the man called me a dog, an attack dog. And I'm telling you, I'm going up for appeal. And that restraining order, that plenary restraining order will be undone. In the name of Jesus, I speak it and decree it. It will not be so. And it won't be granted again. But this is the thing. It had nothing to do with the case. He said to him, how do you get paid? I was so glad to tell him, man, I got friends. I got celebrities. I got business owners. I got relatives. I can do sad things, odd jobs all over the place. And don't let me get low. I got a hell of my friends, oh, they got my back because guess what? When they needed, I got them. And when I needed, they got me. But I was like, okay. So when I said it on oath, and I looked right over at the opposing party. Yeah, I'll never lie on the oath. Did you hear what I said? I know people. Bitch, I got a celebrity who, if I got one celebrity, I can fly on they fly points. If I can't buy the flight, a whole celebrity who travels all the time. I got a whole credit card that I utilize to fly on points. That's theirs. And I got way more friends than the ones you see. I keep my friends private. My brother Michael Collier is the only one you might see me publicly show. You might see me publicly say something to Taronda Jones, who was the girl that played on Empire. You might see me around Kiki Wyatt a little bit. But everybody else, it ain't your damn business. But I'll tell you this. I'm on a project with all of the original Chicago MCs. And you could say what the hell you want. Oh, including Snoop Dogg, who was the only one who wasn't from Chicago on the project. I do their logistics. I organize their stuff. I put their teams together. I travel with them getting stuff done. And you would never know I was there because I don't need no pictures for you. People who are part of my team be with them, all kind of stuff, all kind of pictures online. You don't even know I'm all in there, and you won't, and I'm okay with that. You know why? Because some people just want to know where you are so that they can try to figure out where to attack you. Bitch, go do a scavenger hunt and good luck. You know what they're talking about? Oh, you this and you that. He homeless. He a gypsy. He a vagabond. Oh, okay. Fuck around, find out my house bigger than your block. Somebody came to my house. I said to them, I said, I hope you enjoyed it. But maybe one day when I get comfortable, I'll invite you to my real house. They was like, what? Yeah, my real house. So I look congested. I don't know what the hell these are, but they some crystals. And you smell them and they work. They be clearing they clear the nostrils. And these things is only $10. And what they got to say? Y'all see, y'all ain't seen no episodes about Turlington Holmes, have you? Because they ain't got shit to say. He ain't doing nothing for the city. And I'm on here saying all the time, I secured $600,000 for the city. It's gonna be $1 million by the end of the year. Oh, by the way, I have exceeded my goal. I said that I was bringing in $1 million in revenue into the city of Harvey, but by the end of this year. And I want you all to hear me say these words out of my mouth. Some of it I ain't even made Harvey aware of yet. But Jedediah Brown has officially, with his friends, his colleagues, his associates, his connections, and his relationships, got over $1 million in commitment for the city of Harvey. And you are going to start seeing movement as soon as January of 2026. Now run and tell that, since y'all think that I'm hinging my future on if people contribute to me or not. Oh, and then you know what I told them? Well, since y'all giving $1 million to Harvey, I want y'all to also help me with this project and that project and this project. And let me tell you what they said. They said, for you, absolutely. Anything you ask, Mr. Brown, we got you. All of them. Kiss my ass. And so you trying to figure out why I'm sitting over here smelling my crystals and talking my shit and ain't worried about your opinion. It's because guess what? When you blessed, highly favored, and connected, you don't worry about trying to impress nobody or no fools. That's why when people get older, they start talking reckless and start saying the stuff that they've been wanting to say. Well, I started quite a bit early. I'm 39. So that means I got at least, I don't know when you really get like that, but I got some time to go. I'm gonna be popping my shit and talking it for quite some time. And when I don't have, and when I and don't get it twisted, by the way, because I don't just need to call on them. I got a community of people and for the culture. And you about to see the smoke coming trail behind us, and all you're gonna be looking at is all our asses through your windshield, through our rearview mirror, because we moving and we getting ready to announce ourselves to the nation. And they got my back like I got theirs. So y'all they sitting up there talking about this mob action with this fool, this mob action with this clown, this mob action with this fake phony fraud. But I'm gonna talk about this sensible action. None of that existed. And then he gonna tell the judge it was fist storm, it was a flurry of fists flying everywhere. I only have two. What was he hitting you with? Fists, and they were flying everywhere, coming out of all kind of directions. And then today, you further embellish now, as of today, in the snippet that I heard, now somebody hit him with a brick in the back of his head. So you now add to the lie. I ain't never heard that narrative, not one time. Now, oh, and I was hit in the back of my head with a brick. You made you what you did when I said, damn, that's how you feel. It felt like a brick. Getting your ass what felt like a mob. That tells you to stop fucking with me. And literally on there talking about we not gonna stop. Because eventually when they know they see me, it's gonna be a fight. This motherfucker literally just said that on the screen. Every time they see me, it's gonna be a fight. They know it's gonna be a fight, and either they're gonna be worn down, or when they get their ass whooped, then they gonna. When you got your ass whooped, you still going. Delusional is an understatement. These motherfuckers is on live right now with one view. I done came on live and literally they lost 30 people. They on there with one view. Nigga, I would have pre-recorded the message and just put it up at that point. All right, y'all, this episode is over. We're gonna go ahead and we'll pre-record something for a little bit later. This motherfucker on there talking about somebody said something to me. He said that, oh, he's a global, what they say, he a global something. You a global something with 7 views. You global with 7 views. I've been an advocate for almost 2 decades, and I have literally touched the globe, jumping on Donald Trump's stage and fighting for Kanika, and I still got enough sense to know I'm not global. But you a global leader, and you can't even point to one piece of local legislation. No cash bond, I fought in that. Trauma Center for the South Side of Chicago, I fought in that. Consent decree in the city of Chicago's police department, I fought for that. I'm the one who was the senior advisor for the advocacy in Chicago under Rahm's administration, under Irene Brody's administration. I was an advisor to Lori Lightfoot's administration. I also was getting to know Daley before he left. I advised the Bruce Rauner administration, but even though he enlisted shit I said, I advised Quinn's administration. I've advised Bernie Sanders and Barack Obama, but you global. Shut the hell up. Literally politicians, celebrities, and all kind of people, when they go to Chicago to this day, they still call me and ask me. The fucking national news call me and say, oh, we were thinking about interviewing this person. What do you think? Are they credible? Yes. Because they know I'm gonna tell them no, of yes or no. The producers, they all know me. You know why? Because I've been on that shit. And I still got enough sense to know I'm not global. But here you are global with 7 viewers, and 6 of them probably are people who are supporters of mine coming to tell me what you're talking about. Oh, Lord have mercy. So this situation, Harvey, is crazy because it says, it's nothing more dangerous than a man that had nothing to lose. And it's interesting because they so stupid, they keep on making all of the clear lines or the blurred lines clear. But I just want to say that for the record, y'all, as you should already know, there was no mob action on that damn street. There was no senseless attack. There was actually credible defense. I was spat on. I was hit. I was literally being harassed. I was stalked, as I have been by this fool for years. And then that daughter of his was threatening to have somebody come up there to harm us under the perception of him telling them, or Beth telling them, that I was intending to do something to them. That's what happened. That's all that happened. And then hear this dumbass talking about you need a restraining order against me, but you came to the block where I'm at, filming it, and then on video that I have, you're saying, ooh, I know he doesn't know that I'm here because if he find out, he got to leave. Bitch, please. You will be leaving. I don't give a fuck about that paperwork. Because that paperwork don't trump truth, and it sure as hell don't trump the Constitution. Get your goofy ass on somewhere and find you some business. And the other crazy part is that Harvey silly self will let somebody run y'all history, but the whole page is full of propaganda. What history is you getting? And then willing to blatantly omit things from history if he don't rock with you. That's not the kind of integrity you need in making sure that the story is told the right way. That's the kind of motherfucker who will literally get the book and rewrite it for their agenda. I guarantee you, when it's all said and done, Harvey gonna have a whole lot of gay history that it probably didn't have. A lot of it. In 1948, the first gay pioneer traveled through the streets of Harvey and began to paint rainbows on the post of the doors. And the residents, the black residents, were infuriated. And as they began to rise up, other gays from other places responded to a call out as the rainbow was shot out over the skies. And as the skies began to lit up with all the colors of the rainbow, fairies began to come from the north, the south, the east, and the west, building the city out of the ashes. And here is one of the homes right here now, Turlington Homes. They built this house and they built this street and they was able to do this and do that. And we're gonna be sitting there like, well, damn, I thought Turlington Homes was my people and you didn't like them. It was the gays who saved Harvey. So I'm okay. I ask people, what do you think is the biggest problem that I have? And they said your mouth. But don't get it twisted. You have influence and you have made an impact in a short time that you've been here. And I took those words from several people and I hold them dear. And I gave them a response. I'm not going to do anything less than be honest. And if that's what's in my mind, and all things are lawful, it might not be expedient, but I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going to give up my voice or my freedom. And I'm going to be as I want to be. Because guess what? It ain't determined my trajectory yet. The devil is a liar. You can't put a label on me when God put a decree. I can't even make a mistake bigger than God's choosing of me. And my work will speak for itself. And my consistency will be seen by those with the mind and that matters. So D, go ahead. But you tell me 6 months from now what you all have accomplished. Because I'm going to tell you what I have and what I'm about to. But I'm going to wait. Because this is what I do know, D, while you talking all that shit. I'm getting ready to put a city in your house. I mean, a house in your city that's going to be better than anything you ever lived in. And I'm going to make sure that somebody with some sense can get to move in there. And I'll build up Harvey from the ashes with people who got sense and ain't just looking for relevance and that's willing to be blind to the truth. Because you cannot dispute these facts, but you can choose to be a fool just so you can say you got friends. Everybody who's speaking well of you don't mean you well. Kimberly is not a genuine person. Now that I've confirmed that every time I see her smiling with somebody, I hurt for them because they don't know like I know. And the people who I warned in Dalton found out. They didn't disassociate with her because of me. They saw what I saw. And they ain't even told me that. I just know. And that's on God. Babe Sola says D need to go sit down backwards. Harvey is going to take a lot of work. We'll have to plan long term to solve those issues. Because I don't disagree. I'll only ask you one question, and that is, do you believe that miracles can happen? All that shit they did was staged because they're jealous of you, and you stand on your business. And like you said, you didn't go against Clark. I don't even know that that's the true basis for why I go through what I go through. I think I go through what I go through because they know that the truth about them gonna come out. And so they tried to put Clark in front of it. But that helped me to see truth. But they put Clark in front of it, hoping that it would discredit me to people. But they were foolish because they ended up pushing me towards paying attention more. And now that's why I feel the way I feel about them, because they made me look harder, and it's not there. What they said is not there. And the real crazy part about it is I see it in them. I see it in them. Now, Kobe Chapman did a good thing, I think. She put her name on a flyer in an event that gave toys to over 800 people in Thornton Township under the allowance of her master, Mr. Napoleon Harris. And I'm pretty sure that some of those people are going to be confused to think that she's doing such a great thing. But I do know for a fact she ain't come up with all those toys, or probably didn't even come up with half of them. She put a name on it. She endeared herself to the organizers, and she probably helped them get what they got, the space and all that other stuff, probably some vendors and all that other stuff, using her relationship to the senator. But this is my firm opinion and my belief, and I'm going to stick by it. She's too busy focused on being performative and disingenuous. Because if she was as bad as she say she was, then as the alderwoman of the city, as a alderwoman of the city, I would have been fighting every level of government to deliver what that city needs, and they wouldn't have no in or other consideration or ability but to say that it was because of my fierce advocacy. But I'll tell you this for the record, because this is what I know. Kobe Chapman is trying to cause Harvey to fail because she thinks it's going to make it easier for her to take the seat. She wants that $43,000 trinket that she got dangling before her head so that she can reinstitute the favors that her bosses want her to make sure that they can benefit from. If you follow all the traces, they're all connected right now. You can connect the dots. Napoleon Harris gives millions of dollars to the park and the library board, who the McCaskills are in charge of. The McCaskills, who is now the woman that, if you take Keisha, he lied to Kiana, tricked her, appointed or pushed for the appointment of Keisha McCaskill, who, when you do deep dive into her records, you find she's sitting up there lying on her applications for real estate. But they now are trying to present her as the champion of the laws, the policies around real estate and property taxes. And so now they're pushing people to support her so that she can become the commissioner of the 5th district. And then this guy, because he's so brazen in his corruption, don't even do a half decent job with his petitions. But because he's a seated senator and he has no challenger, he gets to overcome the challenge in the Board of Elections because they threw out all the teeth that was meticulously put into the case. And the corruption, which was very clear, that if anybody else would have done, they would have not only probably gotten kicked off the ballot, but they might have been put up for criminal prosecution. Well, how do I know? Because I ran for office multiple times. And guys, I ain't never been kicked off the ballot. So I know what it requires to get it done. And I looked at those petitions. There's no way, shape, form, or fashion that Napoleon Harris should have remained the commitment. But that ain't good enough, right? Because people say, oh, Jedediah, don't do that to that black man. He got this great presentation with his family. So lest you forget that a cheetah is always a cheetah, but I also know to take my time with it because cheetahs never win. Why am I saying that? Because we all saw what happened with that caucus with Tiffany Henyard. That didn't need to happen because guess what? It was already being done by the righteous fight of the residents on the front end. And now that he got the seat, here's the question. Do you all feel that it's gotten better? Or are y'all concerned? Because I've heard from quite a few people, they are past concern. And some of them saying, man, you probably shouldn't have left. Heard that. And I ain't gonna tell y'all which direction that came from, but I found it to be quite interesting. And if you take that and you couple it with the fact that he is now, as the senator, able to steer resources to Harvey, where he is the protege of Mayor Kellogg, who put the city in the condition that it is in, fact, and this man who doesn't like Clark is actually able to push the state government to send resources to the city so that they won't be in distress, but it refuses to do so by testimony that nobody got the balls to say out loud is that he will not help the city of Harvey unless the mayor resigns. So you think you're going to use taxpayer money to create a dynasty on the Southland? That is beyond corruption, and that should concern everybody. But here it is, this tall man with this fragile ego and this corrupt heart who tries to present himself in a Christian way. That guess what? Remind you, because this is how interesting it is. When I didn't even know we would be here today, I testified, showed up at my church when I was a pastor, for no reason at all, told us that he was going to give us a building, lied to our face so that he would gain the favor of the people in the building. And then I had to deal with that with my church. I saw his character then, but I took it up as a slip of the mind. No, that's who he really is. So I can keep going on and on and on and on and on. And I would, oh, and then y'all might not have heard this, but recently, because she's challenging him. Oh, and I told y'all, withholding $5 million from Dalton because they're challenging his authority, but ain't nobody saying nothing publicly. But guess what? I told y'all $5 million. I got the video. I can go to it now. And why did it just come out? He blocking $5.5 million. Guess Jedediah don't just be talking. I know how to do my research and I know what I'm talking about. Why y'all quiet? Told y'all don't vote for the motherfucker anyway. Even when I saw it, I said none. Even though I saw that it was a mountain climb, I said, pick Nate. But here's the thing. They got it so messed up. I'm gonna back off. I'm gonna say tomorrow. I hope to see all y'all there. Add to the list of things we have done. We will be hosting a Christmas party for the residents and the seniors of Harvey, literally at no cost to them. There are going to be gifts, prizes, food, dessert, entertainment, safety, transportation, and everything else. I did not do anything subpar, and we did all of this in less than 2 weeks. It may not be perfect, but I promise you all won't notice because we're going to have a mighty good time. We had an event in Dalton, I think 3 times. I don't know if it was every month or every 2 months. I just put $6,000-$7,000 into Harvey. While I was just sent the GoFundMe link for a woman who served in my organization for years. And so now I gotta figure out how to do that while also addressing an already long list. But these fools want to talk about I'm doing bad or doing wrong. If you got in you to listen to the gay man, the dumb fat fuck, the enormous bellied woman without defined features, and the sped child demon lady who ain't done a damn thing over a person that has literally given out of his soul. And I want to say this too in advance and for the record. You deserve what you do and do not get. And this is my commitment to myself. Y'all fuck this up, I'm going to leave you to it. But I'm going to leave it to you proud to know this. What y'all think is going to be better, going to be way worse. And that gay man, the minute you don't give him what he want, because y'all made it okay for him to do the things he doing, he going to do it to you too. Remember I said it. It's a matter of time. And let me tell you why it's a matter of time. Because y'all don't even like him like that. That's why. Ain't that right, Kobe? Ain't that right, Chappelle? That ain't my room. That ain't no rumor. Y'all don't like him like that, and y'all see how annoying he is, and how foolish he is, how much of a lie he is. And according to you, y'all tell him. He don't listen. But go ahead and try to get to a finish line and take him over there with you. Remember that. And then that other lady, who, yeah, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave y'all to it. He is our leader. And he ain't led y'all to do nothing. But you think you going to make a joke about them calling me a commander? Let me tell you what that means. It means they believe in me. It means they see the work. It means they're part of the vision. They understand what I command. And they got my back. Because we're moving. It is a sign of respect. And it is no different than calling your pastor a pastor, or the Catholic man a priest, or the Jewish man a rabbi. It ain't no difference than calling the business owner a CEO, or the person who leads your community a mayor. It doesn't no difference between the call and those in the public safety, law enforcement, or peace officers, or a person sitting on the bench of the courtroom, a judge. It is just a responsibility. But it just grinds y'all gears because it's an honor that y'all don't see or understand or don't feel familiar. Because, we wasn't built like y'all. We built different. So here goes my advice again, because I heard you today, sir. Mr. Greg, I heard what you said. And that short snippet that I was paying attention to. You said we're going to see how it goes civilly, and then we're going to go federally. Well, dumbass, either way, if it's in the district court or the federal court, it's still civil, ho. But hear these words coming out of my mouth. You don't got to worry about it because I've already made my promise. The case we have now is going federal. And the hole you thought you were digging, for me, because you stood in it, I know for a fact you fit in it. So make sure you put some amenities down there, because that's where you going to be, not me. So I'm going to get off of here. My nose is stopped up. I need to rest and make sure that I'm prepared because I got a lot of work tomorrow to do because I'm going to be celebrating with 200 residents and seniors in Harvey while you bitching about it online. And guess what? We ain't just giving them a toy and they going to leave because dumbass, I watched Tiffany Hilliard give away so much stuff, and she didn't get not one vote. That don't mean a motherfucking thing. I'm not moved by what I see. I know what I believe, and that is that when it's all said and done, no weapon formed, as well as the villain never gets to be the hero. Hope I said something out about your life. Good night.
I heard it said closed mouths don't get fed, so we partnering with Harvey, help to build the city bread. And to those that call Jedediah to the town, hold it, wait a minute. Pause, stand down. Why you mad? Cause we double checking all your allegations. You say you telling truths, we just following the traces. Y'all people mad, Jed ain't seen in clock corruption. Jed ain't moving like a pawn, he's a king, he fights injustice. A lie can't stand when the truth comes to faces. That's why them liars keep on losing court cases. Let's just agree to disagree and work to bring Harvey back. Dealing with businesses and ones they not paying their tax. And all the woman Kobe Jed wants you to know the fake is showing. Thought you'd have him on your finger, he researched, he wasn't going. Want you calling all the strays, who's the leader of your pack? Work on getting business in your ward to pay their fair tax. They making money up in Harvey, but short Harvey on them racks. It's not racks, they owe Harvey some millions. The very money that could help demolish unsafe buildings. This verse was long, run the chorus, we'll be back and we ain't about to leave. Harvey, you can run and tell that we here till whole bills up on every block. Activating people rising and don't stop. Restoration for the hearts that never quit. Vision ain't luck, it's a plan with a crew that's built for this. Empowerment's what we want for the people. You see we care, we ain't backing down from evil. And Harvey, we won't quit. Jed and INA, and for the coaches here, and we commit to this. Not quoting fiction, what we saying is fact. Found stolen land up in Harvey, Jed help take that land back. Put back on Harvey's tax roll, bringing investors to meetings. We trying to help Harvey out, so V-Not's why you see them.
So I think that this was a good point that was made. So we wanted to share this with you. Somebody make sure that you tell Greg to pay attention to 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 30 seconds of this video. Somebody make sure you tell him that. Go when he want to watch this video, tell him to make sure you watch 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 40 seconds. Why? Because this is what I mean when I talk about perjury, Mr. Amir. You stood in the courtroom and you told the judge that you didn't know anything about the status of my case, that you didn't know it was dismissed, that you thought that you told them that I pled guilty, and you told them that I paid a fine. But here it is. Your foolish fat ass. What you posted right there on the 22nd and the 21st or the 22nd of August. For the record, we've known Harvey's process was corrupt. Our case will be pursued in state court, noting objections, gathering evidence for potential criminal cases. Good morning at 12 noon. Court will be with criminal offenders Jedediah Brown and then for mob action. So that's one post. That's a part of the buildup. But there is another post that I want you to think about. Because you told the judge you didn't know. But your dumb ass posted about how bogus and how corrupt it was. That's called perjury. Dumbass. You don't got no degree, but if you do, get a refund.
So V-Not's why you see them. We out here making moves. We out here doing something. Cooking with Frank, sir. You coined that term. You wanted something. Victims Network of Thornton Township V-Knots. That's right. I'm trying to see how they help Harvey. Can y'all bring that to life? Cause what I'm seeing ain't right. Steady line, going to court. What's the score? I lost count. Watching lights fall to the floor. Some people like confusion. We trying to bring improvement. So run that chorus back. Remind the people what we do. Yeah. Every block. Activating people rising and don't stop. Restoration for the hearts that never quit. Vision ain't luck, it's a plan with a crew that's built for this. Empowerment's what we want for the people. You said we caring, we ain't backing down from evil. And Harvey, we won't quit. Jetting INA for the cultures here, and we commit to this. I'm almost finished, couple things, and I'm through. To the back, library board, no more illegal moves. Can't stand injustice. So for the culture came through saying, hey, Mrs. Price, here's the money, file your lawsuit. When we believe, we don't just talk, we stay making moves. Jedi and for the culture, that's just what we do. This last part goes out to Officer McKenna. Jed came to help Harvey fight, helped him be a winner. 911 was called and they sent you. He thought he seen the one and we don't know if that's true. But now y'all, what is Jed gon' do? He gon' fight even harder to help Harvey push through. Y'all got ideas to help Harvey. Won't y'all focus on that? We got ideas and making moves. Whole bills up on every block. The fake people